I did a live stream yesterday like I do every Tuesday, and I take questions. I take questions from you, the viewers, and I answer as many as I can in the time that we have. Usually it's between 2 and 3 hours. Yesterday's was 3 hours and 40 minutes, and I got over 1,200 chat messages. So what I'm gonna do in this video is I'm gonna answer as many of the unanswered questions from yesterday's live stream as I can, as quickly as I can. I have no idea how long this is gonna take. I've never done this before. You will let me know if this was a good idea or not. All right, so let's start with the first one. Modeling with Mike. My channel is now 6 months old, and I have the following numbers: 358 subs, 14.3 thousand views, and 1,200 watch hours. What do you think of these numbers so far? Fantastic. Honestly, 358 subs after 6 months is far more than I had. You're doing something right. Keep doing what you're doing and keep having fun with it. Next. So these are going to be as quick as I can. Mariella's 360. Hi, should I wait to make public my videos at least 2 hours or more? I get this a lot because I think there's people out there spreading this, that YouTube needs time to figure out who your audience is. So once you upload it, wait a little bit before you actually make it public. Don't do that. YouTube doesn't need time. In fact, they don't start testing your video until you make it public, right? They're going to test it on your subscribers and other people they think you're trying to reach. And they'll know almost immediately who you're trying to reach because they transcribe your video, okay? When you upload it, when they're processing it, they create a transcript of your video. They look at your title, right? So they know who you're trying to reach. The question is it a good video or not? How much do they want to push it out? They won't know that until they start testing it on people, your subscribers and others, to see what their reaction is. Are they watching it for a long time? Are they clicking your thumbnail? Things like that. So don't wait. What you should do, a better idea, is to go into your YouTube studio, go to the analytics and then the audience tab, I think is where it is. And there you'll find a graph showing when people are watching your videos, typically, right? So try to maybe release your videos just before most people are starting to watch your videos. What is your favorite app for taking a long form video and making a short or two from it? Opus Clip. I love Opus Clip. You can upload your or paste in your URL of a long form video and it'll create a bunch of short form videos. Captions already in place. You can choose which ones you want to keep and which ones you don't. So Opus Clip. What do you think about a channel that makes only live streams? I feel like live streams are awesome. I love them, but I don't know if live streams alone would be a good idea if you want to grow a channel, because live streams on their own, if you're doing it every week, say, what I find is because that's what I do, what I find is I get most of my views in the lives while they're happening, and then over the next 24 hours, a bunch more people watch it on the replay, and in fact, still a bunch of people watch it in the week between that live stream and the next. Okay, but once I release a second live stream, nobody's going to be, or not many people will be looking at previous live streams, right? So anytime you release a new live stream, that's kind of like the latest episode. People don't tend to have a lot of time to go back and watch previous versions. Whereas standalone videos, they have the potential to go evergreen, right? If you make videos based on search terms, keywords, things like that, they're more apt to be a video that does really well. Okay, so a good growth strategy is to have some live streams and some long form videos and short form if that's your thing. My thing is long form, but you do you. Sophia, everybody is leaving CapCut. Do we have to learn how to edit all over again when we move to another editing tool? I've heard about the issues with CapCut, the terms of service and stuff like that. And anybody who wants to know what's going on there, Kevin Colby actually created a good video on that, explains that. I'll leave a link to his channel. I don't use CapCut myself, but what I'll say is if you've learned any video editing app like CapCut, learning another one is not going to be that hard. They're all pretty much the same. You know, things are in different locations. You may need to learn a few new shortcuts. But yeah, if you're going to ditch CapCut for something else, then you will have to learn that something else. But I wouldn't be too concerned about it because you could probably pick it up pretty quickly. DaVinci Resolve, Final Cut Pro, iMovie, Camtasia is the one I use, Premiere Pro, did I say that? Those are some options. Pasha, I put a lot into making high quality content, but low subscriber growth hurts motivation. I get that. What do you think of these stats? I don't see any stats. How can I stay motivated? Okay, so how do you stay motivated with low subscriber growth? You gotta love it. You gotta love what you do. And don't be too worried about the subscribers because they don't even really matter, right? Once you get monetized, I mean, it's just a metric that it has become the way we define how large a channel is. How many subscribers does it have? It's not an accurate way of depicting how successful a channel is. It's just how many subscribers do you have? And that's really doesn't mean that much. Once you have your 1,000 to get monetized, then it doesn't matter. The number of views matters more. You put a lot into making high quality content. What I'll say to you there is maybe don't put so much time and effort into making high quality content. And that might sound wrong, but my point is editing can take a long time, a really long time. And if you can cut down on your editing time, you'll be able to make videos faster. And quite honestly, a lot of times people aren't interested in the very good looking videos. They just want the information that you're providing in your videos. Okay, that is way more important. So maybe kind of have a look at your priorities, but make sure you're having fun with it. Any tips for great looking annotations in Camtasia? Whether it's Camtasia or not, tips that I would have, annotations. So annotations is basically text, usually text or any, in Camtasia, it can be text, it can be shapes or things like that. I think of it as text. So I'm thinking of like when you put text on a video, okay? My tip there would be to make sure there's good contrast between your text and what you're putting your text on. All right, so if you're putting your text on something that's a dark screen, a dark background, a dark video, then go with light text. Like black on white or white on black is always the most contrasted, I guess, is that the right way to say it? Yeah, so I tend to lean towards white text on dark backgrounds. Now, if you decide on a color, say white, and there are times when your background changes from dark to light, then what you can do is you put a drop shadow behind your text. So on your text, you add an effect. In Camtasia, it's an effect. I think in any editing program it would be. I'm thinking Camtasia too for thumbnails. Add a drop shadow that's a darker color. Okay, light text with a dark drop shadow. That'll show up on any background. Video, moving, or static, doesn't matter. So that's one way you can do it. Another way would be to put your text on a shape, like a rectangle or a rounded corner rectangle or a box, right? That can be whatever color you want, and it can even be semi-transparent if you want. But that'll help your text stand out on, say, a busy or multicolored background. Liz Underhill, I'm looking for a new computer. You said you used to have desktop but now have an Apple. Why did you change? And I'm assuming you like it. I love it. I've got a MacBook Pro M1 Max, so mine's from 2021, but I love it. It would run circles around the desktop that I had, and that was a pretty good desktop Windows PC. This one never crashes. I love the way I can airdrop my videos that I capture with my phone to my MacBook, iPhone, MacBook. You can airdrop. Very handy. Yeah, and I love it. So why did I change? There was a couple reasons. I felt Apple was better for creative things like imaging, making video, rendering videos. I was having problems with my programs, so Camtasia and DaVinci Resolve crashing more than I would have liked. This was a couple years ago now. So yeah, I changed that was the main reason. And I'm glad I did. Another really good thing about it is that the fan in my MacBook is super quiet. It hardly ever comes on, actually, maybe a couple times a month, and that's about it, during a heavy render, maybe. And even when it comes on, it is so much quieter than what I used to have with the tower computer that I had before that. Georgia Fan. So my channel was copyrighted and deleted. This is actually a different account, and is there any way to get it back? I can't help you with that. You're going to have to contact YouTube and find out why it was why it was deleted. Did you violate copyright rules? Sounds like maybe that's what you mean. If you think that you are in the right and they were wrong, then I'm sure there's a way you can fight that with YouTube, but you're going to have to contact them. And good luck with that. Brandon James Gagan? I apologize if I say your name wrong. Is it bad to start too many channels at the same time? I wouldn't say it's bad, but I would say you might be overloading yourself. It's hard enough to start one channel and be successful with it. So starting two, that's twice as hard, even more than twice as hard. My advice would be to focus on one and get good with that first, and then maybe move on if you want to. How do I get ideas? Brainstorm. Sit down with a pen, paper, brainstorm ideas. right? You can ask people, but you can use ChatGPT as well. That's a really handy tool for brainstorming. Ashes ascending. How personal should I get? If you're doing autobiographical life advice, how personal should I get? It's whatever you're comfortable with. Some people are concerned with privacy, rightfully so, right? Try to keep your location private if you can. That's kind of the bare minimum. But only share what you're comfortable with. A lot of people will tell stories in their videos, and there'll be stories they relate to, or stories, that help carry whatever message they're trying to deliver in their videos. So those stories can get personal sometimes, but if you're not comfortable with that, then you don't have to do that. So it's whatever you're comfortable with. But I can tell you that the more personable you are with your audience, the more they'll be able to connect with you, and they like that. And that's how you grow a channel, by connecting with your audience. So that's a personal call. Anna Cars, what editor program? So for video editing, I use Camtasia, and I love it. I think it's great for beginners. Flagler Nature Girl, how do you block? I believe you mean for comments. If somebody sends you a comment or writes a comment on one of your videos, leaves a comment, and you don't like it, maybe it's a hateful message, hurtful, whatever, inappropriate, racist, sexist, whatever, anything bad that you don't want on your channel, and you don't want to ever hear from that person again, you can block them. So what you do is on the comment, you're going to see three little dots over to the right. You click that, and one of the options there is going to be block. If you block the person, then that will remove that comment and any other comment they've ever made on any of your videos on your channel. Won't really remove them, but you won't be able to see them. Nobody else will be able to see them, but the commenter will be able to see them. So they don't know they're blocked. And I kind of think that's genius. So that's how you do that. And if you're doing a live stream, you want to do the same thing, it's kind of the same thing. Right in the live chat, there's 3 dots. Click that and click block. And you can block somebody that way. Catherine, question. I did a live stream meditation and chat yesterday. If I clip the beginning and end to just leave the meditation itself, will I get penalized for uploading that as a separate video? I don't believe you will. This to me sounds like kind of the same thing as taking a clip from within another video and posting that as its own video. I don't see anything wrong with that. The only thing is that I'll caution you, if your viewers have already seen the longer version of your video, and then once they start watching the newer, shorter version, that's just a clip from within, once they realize that they may have seen it already, they may click away. So that second video may not have as many views as the first one. It may not do very well. Okay, so just keep that in mind. United Bros, how we doing? This is only number 17. Yeah, I might have to pick up the pace. What would you say are the 3 best niches on YouTube? Anything to do with fitness, weight loss, how to make money online. Those all do great, but that doesn't mean everybody should make videos in those niches, because what really works is what you're passionate about. So it's no good to talk about how to make money online if that's not what you do, or you know something about, or you're passionate about, right? So you got to pick something that is up your alley, right? Something you're passionate about, something you can talk about endlessly. You don't have to be an expert. You just have to be passionate about it. Heartily Happy, is the Insta360 a good camera for regular video recording? I saw that you were using it on one of your videos while outside. Yes, absolutely. You can use the Insta360. Just set it up on a tripod. You don't have to worry about where it's pointing because it's recording everywhere. And make a video with that. 100%, absolutely. Smart with feelings. There's a lot of info out there about being authentic and vulnerable. How much should you share? What if you don't want to put it all out there? Will that hurt you? No, that won't hurt you. Only share what you're comfortable sharing. I mentioned this a little bit earlier. You don't want to make yourself uncomfortable. Don't feel like you have to share anything. Only share what you're comfortable with. But yes, being authentic and vulnerable is a positive when you're making videos. That people will relate to that. Anything you can talk about that people will relate to is good in that sense. But again, sometimes there's a line you got to draw. And don't talk about anything you don't feel comfortable talking about, is the bottom line. Encouragement Seeker. How come I am unable to add music to my videos in YouTube Studio before I post? Currently, I have to post and then add music via editor. So I've never edited videos like that in YouTube Studio. I would use a video editing program like Camtasia, iMovie, something like that. Add your music beforehand and then upload your video. is what I would do there. Catherine, I'm thinking of 24/7 live streaming of relaxing music. Many channels do it. Given my channel is personal growth, or should I do it on a second channel? I'm keen on your thoughts. Yeah, if you're making a channel on personal growth, I would not also include 24/7 live streaming of music, because that's a totally different thing. The people who are there for your personal growth are not necessarily there for music, okay? I would, if you want to do that, if that's another interest of yours, do that on a separate channel. Otherwise, the YouTube algorithm will be confused. They won't know who you're trying to reach, and all of your videos will suffer as a result. What if I don't want any locals to see my channel? Lots of jealousy and bad mouthing here in this small village. Don't spread it around. Don't tell people, your family and friends, don't tell them what you're doing. I mean, don't necessarily want to lie or hide it from them, but you know, just share what you want to. I wouldn't share it, right? I would just kind of do my thing. Like, how much do your friends and family share about their work or their hobbies, right? Just share what you want and leave it at that. In terms of locals, if you don't want locals to see your channel, there's not really anything directly that you can do to avoid that. But if whatever you're talking about in your videos has nothing to do with your locals, then they'll likely never see it anyways. So talk to the audience that you're targeting with your videos, and then they will find your videos with YouTube's help, and they could be all over the world. The chances of people locally finding your video is pretty remote. Now, if it does happen, I would have a story ready that you're comfortable with. Like, for example, like if somebody approaches you, yeah, I saw that you make YouTube videos. What's that all about? What are you doing? And just say, oh yeah, that's just a hobby of mine, just something I do in my spare time. And you can leave it at that. Okay, that would be my suggestion there. Dorothy Burton, some teach it's not good to mix longs and shorts on the same channel because shorts will skew the numbers. Your thoughts? I did notice that shorts do skew the numbers, for example, the number of views that you get, but you can filter your views in your analytics to only show the results from the longs. So don't let that be something that discourages you from mixing. A more important reason for not mixing them, in my view, is that they're two different things. Long form videos, short form videos, they have two totally different audiences. And it's hard to target both at the same time. I target long form videos. That's my strategy. I do have shorts though, as well, but I don't spend any time on them. I use, as I mentioned earlier, a program called Opus Clip. If I want to create some shorts, I just kind of have it do it automatically. But other people might be the reverse of me. They might want to focus on shorts, and then maybe ever so often they might make a long. Okay, that's okay too. I guess that's my only thought there. Not that it's not a good idea to mix them. It's just that I don't know how much that helps. A little bit of branding help is, I guess, why I do it, right? To have some shorts there to show up in some people's feed every so often gets them used to seeing my face. So how do I get through the awkwardness of talking to a camera and not a person? Look at the camera and pretend it's somebody you know, and that somebody has just asked you a question, and then answer that question as honestly as you can. Be yourself. It's going to take practice, but that's the best advice I got. Practice, practice, practice. Practice being yourself. Lati Svela, is it better to narrate over with English or try to speak English during the video? It's not a good idea to narrate over with English because I picture that being impossible to do and have it look authentic. Try to speak English during the video. Absolutely 100%. Even if it's not, I get the impression it's not your first language, English. Even if it's not, then do the best you can. Talk as clearly as you can, and people who do speak English will appreciate that you've tried. Okay, that's my experience in that. Prayerful moments. Did you suggest something else that can replace CapCut? I might have. Camtasia is what I would recommend. I find that really easy to learn for beginners, and that's what I use. But there's others, Filmora, Descript, Final Cut Pro, Premiere Pro, DaVinci Resolve, iMovie. If I'm going to recommend something for beginners, I suggest Camtasia. Question about live streams. About to do my first live stream. Awesome. What approach did you take to promote yours or when you started? So what I did is I identified a date several weeks ahead of time, like a date in advance. So if I were doing this today, I'd pick maybe July 15th. Or July 20th. That's going to be my first day I go live. Then what I did is the 2 or 3 videos leading up to that live stream, I advertised. Within my own video. Like when I introduced myself, I'd say, hey, I'm Rob, and starting July 20th, I'm going to go live every Wednesday at 1 o'clock or whatever it is. I hope to see you there. If you have any questions, ask me there, or you can be as detailed as you want. I suggest keeping intros and introductions of yourself, even within a video, as short as you can. But it's a good opportunity to reach out. So I promote it within your videos. You can also use the community posts tab to promote it as well. Nicola, 2 months, 10 days, 21 videos, 1,030 subs in 2 months. Awesome. Going for another 1,300 watch hours. Any advice if live will help or just videos as usual? Going for another 1,300. So if I'm reading this right, you're only 1,300 watch hours away from getting monetized? Is that what you mean? If so, or even if you only at 1,300 watch hours in 2 months, that's phenomenal growth, Nicola. That's awesome. You're doing great. But if you want to level that up, absolutely live streams will help. Live streams, especially if you're getting that kind of organic growth now, do live streams and reach out to your audience and try to get them to join you in lives and, encourage them to ask questions and engage with them. That will only help. That will level everything up for you. I'm pretty confident in that. That's what worked for me. So good luck with that. I have iMovie on my MacBook. Would that be okay to use? Mark. Absolutely. iMovie, perfect. Go for it. It's free. You've got it, so use that. Why is everybody leaving CapCut? I must have missed something. So they changed their terms of service, is what I've gathered. I'm not a CapCut user, but I've seen some videos. Kevin Colby's got a really good one about this. They've changed their terms of service such that any assets you use, this is my understanding of it, any assets you use to create videos using CapCut, you upload them to their servers, you create your video, you download your video. All those assets you use, so your raw videos that you uploaded, maybe any images you created, likenesses of yourself, you upload those to CapCut. CapCut will now own them. They own them and they have a right to do whatever they want with all of that, your assets, to use how they please, to perhaps sell to other people. And one of the videos I saw, I don't know if this was Kevin's or not, but somebody used the analogy that, let's say you are a vegetarian and you make videos on how to be a vegetarian, meal prep or whatever. And then you made your videos with CapCut. CapCut owns all your assets. They could theoretically take a picture of you, like a still shot from your video of you, the person who is a vegetarian and promotes being a vegetarian, and sell it to a beef company, right? Who is going to make an ad that you may see on the internet somewhere, picture of you promoting steaks, okay? Awful, not what you want. So that's what's got everybody worried about this, and I don't know what's going to come of it. I think a lot of people are leaving CapCut because of it. Maybe they'll end up changing their terms back. I don't know. Who knows? But that's what's going on. What did you decide to start creating? Why did you decide to start creating videos to help people over 40 get started on YouTube? I'd love to hear how you chose this niche. All right, so for me, I had been making videos for about 3.5 years, mostly at the time, mostly on how to edit using Camtasia. Camtasia is video editing software that I have been using for a long time. It got its start, actually not, this is a long-winded answer, I'm sorry, but it got its start not as a video editing platform, but as a program that helped you make really good tutorial videos. Screen capture, put text on it, arrows pointing at things, that kind of thing. Then it got into, video. You can take a video of yourself while you're recording your screen, put yourself in a picture, a circle mask down in the corner and all that. So I'd been using that to do those things, make videos like that for myself and for clients as a freelancer for years. Okay, so the users, Camtasia's been around for more than 20 years, I believe. The people who tend to use Camtasia know how to make videos. They tend to be older because it's been around so long. They're not making videos. They didn't get their start in making videos because they watched TikToks or whatever's current right now. They made them for other reasons. So it's just kind of the natural thing. Like when you're trying to decide, I think it's a good idea to pivot away from videos you're making and try new avenues if you can on your same audience. So my audience was older people who already knew how to edit videos, probably, or at least make tutorial videos. And I thought, what else might they want to know? Well, maybe they want to know how to make YouTube videos. Maybe they should start their own YouTube channel, right? Maybe they hadn't thought of that. Okay, so that's where the idea came from. And it just so happened that it was also the first time I ever made a video where I sat down in front of the camera and spoke off the cuff without a teleprompter, or at least without walking somebody through a demonstration, which is how I had been making videos. So, and that video did really well, and I kind of ran with it. It was a bit of a pivot, but a lot of new subscribers came from that, and I started making more and more videos about that, why older people should be getting into YouTube. Okay, then I start to think, what else would these people need help with, right? That's the way you got to think. Think of your audience and how can you help them, okay? What do they need help with? So I'm thinking, okay, people over 40, they've been making tutorial videos. Now I'm suggesting they could make their own YouTube videos. What do they need help with? Well, one of the things, I think this might have been my next video, was how to talk to a camera, right? That's a skill that not a lot of people have. So I made a video on that. And then it feeds on itself, right? You get comments, you get questions, and you answer those questions with more videos. Okay, so that's how that started. I better move on. So can I use Canva for editing? I believe you can. I'm not an expert to talk on that, but Canva to me is a great program to edit images. I use it to make my thumbnails. I do know you can make some videos with Canva now. They have recently gotten into video editing, but I believe, I don't know how advanced it is, so I can't really comment on that. But yeah, for me, Camtasia is for the video editing, Canva is for images. Supriyo Paul, hello, love from India. What do you think should monitor analytics on monthly analytics and should focus on growth only? Monitor your analytics is a good thing, but don't focus on them. You want to focus on making your next video. I don't know if that answers your question, but I hope it does. Are vertical lives worth doing? Sure, they could be. I've never done one, but my general answer to any questions like that I haven't done is give it a shot. See if it works. And worst thing that can happen is it doesn't work out, but you've got some practice doing it. So I would give it a shot, absolutely. What is the sweet spot on the best time for a video? I'm thinking between 10 and 15 minutes. That's a good start. It's going to differ depending on the person, the creator, how you speak, what information you're giving in your video, and how often you publish is a big thing too. I'm not about to make a 1-hour video every single day and publish that. I think that's a lot to ask of my subscribers to watch me for an hour every day. So that's one way I look at it. If I wanted to post every day, I'd probably make my videos 2 to 5 minutes long. Then it might be a little more palpable. But 10 to 15 minutes is good. I mean, I usually aim for somewhere in and around there. And I post on average probably twice a week now. So I think that's good. Sometimes I go a little bit longer, but it's only because the content requires that I go longer. So the best way to answer your question is make your videos as short as you can while also delivering the information you want to deliver, okay? If you've got 10 minutes of content, you think you can make it in 10 minutes, don't try to stretch it out into 15. The people, your viewers won't like that. Especially your potential viewers won't like that. New people who think that you are just trying to stretch it out, they're going to hate that. That's wasting people's time. On the flip side, it would be better if you could shrink that 10-minute video down to 7 or 8 minutes, if you can. Then you're almost over-delivering. You're packing a lot of good content into a video, okay? That's the way I'd look at that. Steve Rocky, my retention is awful. Despite working on intros and hooks, deliveries, and sticking to a niche, maybe I'm too monotone. Maybe. Just keep working on it, Steve, is the best thing I can say. Just keep working on it. Practice makes perfect. If you think you're too monotone, then maybe you are. Then try to work on that. Try to work on adding a little, inflection in your voice, right? Like just try to get a little more animated, move your hands around. And, you might feel silly doing it and you might even look silly the first time you try it. But try new things. It might help. You might find something that works better for you. Do you know any platform where one can get free business logo and website design? Free logo and website design? I do not. I'm sorry. My face is in my channel moniker, like you suggested. But there's a huge fish hogging the circle. Is that still okay? My face is still technically there. I'm looking at it right now. Okay, so I see what you mean. I can't make out your face. So what I would honestly suggest is take another photo of yourself where you're better lit so people can see your face. That's what I would do. Or see the fish. If fish and face, but better lit is probably what I would do. That's my suggestion. Can you show revenue? I actually do in a video. I'm going to make an updated video soon, but I made a video that I released in January that showed my revenue for my first year. So I might want to check that out. My editing is not very good yet. It is better to not load a video or do it as best as you can to get better over time. Upload it. Even if you don't think it's very good, upload it now and try to make your next video better. That's the way you get better. What do you mean by voiceover? Same as share screen? Well, no. So a voiceover is just an audio recording of your voice. You're speaking and you're recording your audio. And then voice over, you put that voice over a video, right? So you can either record your voice first and then build a video on top of it, right? Or the reverse, you can build a video and then try to record a voice on top of that. Okay. In my last video, I actually recorded a voiceover because I didn't like my intro that I recorded in Whistler. And I wanted to set the stage a little better. So back in my office, I recorded my voice and used some B-roll of, the trip to Whistler in conjunction with my voiceover. So that's what that is. Rebecca, my ChatGPT says uploading parts of a different longer video that is the same will penalize you under the reused content rule. Yeah, you don't want to reuse content, but if you upload parts of a different longer video, I don't see a problem with that. Yeah, so I'm not sure. I've done that with shorts. I haven't done that with, actually, no, I did. I just last week, I took a portion of a live stream, repurposed it into a shorter long form video. I think somebody asked this a little earlier. The thing to look out for is if the people who are watching this shorter version know that they've seen it before, they may click away pretty quickly, right? So you run the risk of it not performing as well. That's all I'd be worried about, though. What is Evergreen? Evergreen is a video that has the potential to get a lot of views over a long period of time. So it doesn't die off like a typical video would. Typically, a video will do really well the day you launch it and even for the first week, but then it slowly kind of levels off and then doesn't get many views on after that. But an evergreen video, like something that you've designed to be found in search, like I made a video on how to create a YouTube channel. That one turned into an evergreen video because people are searching for that and finding that video, and it's still getting a lot of views, like over 6 months later. So that's what Evergreen is, and it's fantastic if you can get some Evergreen content in there. I like a mix. I like to try to create an Evergreen video every once in a while. They don't always work, but then most of my content is advice type things and answering your questions like I'm doing today. Which of the iPhones give better video? The newer ones. I have the 16, but I think even like the 12 is just fine. If you go, that would be 5 years old, I guess, the iPhone 12s. They were 4K back then, so even then they were fine. And even probably before that, they're probably good enough to make. I know people who make videos for YouTube on their computer with the webcam. Not great quality at all, but it works. If the message is good, that's what people want. So I would suggest use whatever iPhone you have. Can you give us your trick to find the time to create your videos? How do you force yourself to stay consistent for a long time? Do you make promises to yourself? How do you do it? I don't make promises to myself. I don't have to force myself to stay consistent because I love what I do. That's the bottom line. You have to love doing this so that you never have to force yourself to have to do this. Sometimes you might need to take a break, and that's okay. I do that myself. So do that whenever you have to. But a trick, I don't really have a trick. If I want to make a video, I'll make a video. If I'm answering comments and I see a question that needs answering in a video form, I'll make the video. So that's that. I hear some say niche down and some say don't niche down. What are your thoughts? Niching down always works best because that way the algorithm won't get confused about who you're trying to reach. I'm going to try to speed this up a little bit more now. I was told in the beginning to make a short or two out of each video to draw traffic to the long form videos. I'm now learning that shorts mixed with long form videos hurts the channel performance. Thoughts? I don't know that it hurts. I've heard some people say it does. I don't have any concrete evidence that supports that. But what I will say is that creating long form videos and creating short form videos to grow channels is two different skill sets. okay? You're doing two different things. There's two different types of audiences there. The same audience is not going to be interested in both for the most part, okay? There's going to be overlap. But so my thing is get good at one. Pick one. What's your favorite? Long form or short form? Get good at it. Grow a channel with it. And then you can make some others, like I pick long form, okay? I do throw the odd short in there every once in a while, but only for branding reasons. I don't spend any time at it. I don't know that it helps. I don't feel like it helps grow my channel that much. Okay, so that's what I would suggest. Get good at one of them. I don't currently edit. All one-take videos. Good for you. That's awesome. I have iMovie on my Mac. Any experience of it, as I need to learn how to edit. So I've never used iMovie myself, but I know a lot of people do. Give it a shot. You know, just start from the beginning. Simple edit at first. Load a video in it. Chop off the beginning where you reached up and hit record on your phone. Chop off the end. You've done some video editing. Render that new video. Give it a shot. You might like it. Question for Steve Brocky. I need a new mic. Which one would you get if you were buying again? Well, I'm not Steve, but if you were asking me, I recommend the DJI mic. That's what I use, and I love it. I know it's not cheap. It's expensive, actually. The Mic Mini by DJI is better in terms of price. It's smaller. It doesn't have a hard drive on it like this one does. Not a hard drive, but a storage, right? This has internal storage in case the transfer into the phone doesn't work. The Mic Mini doesn't have that, but that's what I would suggest. If you want to really level up your audio, I like the DJI mic, but there's other good ones too. What is good editing app for iPad or iPhone? Is Canva a good option? Canva is good for editing images. I don't use it to edit videos. I would pick something else. For the iPad, I believe DaVinci Resolve has a version out for that now. That might want to look at that. But I actually don't do editing on my iPad or iPhone. I do it all on the Mac with Camtasia. What steps do you take to keep from losing the data, especially when learning editing? Nothing like struggling to get yourself on camera and then lose the footage because you're not techie. Have a backup plan. So I have a file storage plan that I like, a way that I organize my files. You want to settle on that. I'm going to make a video on that actually. Barb, a friend of mine, asked for that again, and I still haven't made it, but I'm going to make that soon. How I organize my files. But basically, I keep them on my MacBook where I do my editing, and then every couple of weeks, I'll offload them to another hard drive, right? And that's where I keep all of my stuff. It's a NAS, network attached storage, and I actually have a video on that when I set that up a couple of years ago on my channel. But then I back it up to another drive. Okay, so I have two backup copies. And then what would make my backup situation even better is if I had one copy off site as well. And I'm ordering another drive that's going to be another one also in this house, but I'm only going to back up to it monthly. So everything goes to my NAS. My NAS automatically backs up to the backup drive weekly, once a week. The first one took a couple of days to back up, but now it only backs up incrementally. So I think it takes like 5 minutes weekly. And then the other drive, which I've got coming, will be monthly. And I'm going to take that out of my house when it's finished and take it over to my brother's house. And then every month, you know, the day before, I'll go get it and I'll plug it in. And that's the way I'm going to handle that. That way I save any off-site storage fees. Because another option is you could get a really big Google Drive, or Backblaze is another option for off-site backups. So that's what I do. But yeah, you want to make sure you have a good backup plan. My channel was copyrighted and deleted by YouTube. This is actually a different account. Is there any way to get it back? I think I answered that. You're going to have to take that up with YouTube. And good luck with that. I wish you all the best. Can you share your tracking spreadsheet of your growth from when you first started? I remember you shared it once and made me feel hopeful. I actually did share that in the live stream, so I don't have time to share it in this, but there you go. Check out the live stream from Tuesday. Do you still say that more than one platform is not good? I have seen a channel growing from 20 to 30,000. In that time, he uploaded one video, 2 shorts, and a lot of TikTok and Facebook shorts over 6 months. My thoughts on that are it's hard enough to grow on one platform than to grow on multiple platforms. Not to say it can't be done, but if you haven't grown on any platforms yet, I would just focus on one. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm focusing on YouTube. I do have an Instagram account as well, but I have like 400 followers there, and I hardly post anything there. That's more there for people to reach out to me if they want to contact me that way. So I would focus on one when you're starting. What is your retention strategy for your videos? Do you save original video and audio, rendered video, or both? What do you use for storage? Okay, so again, for storage, I use my NAS, network attached storage. It's a Synology NAS with 6 bays. I've got 5 drives in it. In RAID format, so one is redundant. I can lose one of those drives and I don't lose data. That is backing up to another backup. But in terms of what do I keep all my raw files as well as the project file from Camtasia, as well as the rendered video. Okay, I keep all of it. And there's duplication there, but when the NAS backs it up, it's smart about that. Okay, it only keeps one copy of everything and just kind of references it. All right, so yeah, I keep everything. Everything I've uploaded to YouTube, I have a copy of as well, in case I ever lose my channel, I suppose. Knock on wood, that doesn't happen. Rob, what are your thoughts on giveaways? Stickers, mugs, t-shirts, etc.? I've never done it, but give it a shot. Yeah, why not? Might be something I do in the future. Should I unlist my least popular videos and pivot to a more creativity-centric channel? You certainly can. I mean, it's whatever you want to do. If you feel like you want to pivot to a new target audience and make videos for a new audience, then yeah, you may want to unlist any videos that aren't for that audience, so to speak. Does that make sense? If you want to keep that channel and you just want to start making videos for a completely different audience, you can start a new channel and then maybe come back to your first channel in the future if you want. My first ever video was spiking like crazy and getting tons of views. No thumbnail, not editing, no voice or face. Then I made a cool thumbnail to add to it and then the views tanked. Then went to analytics and realized that even though views tanked, but CTR doubled. That's a good swap, right? That's a good question. I don't know. Let me go back up. It was spiking like crazy, getting tons of views, no thumbnail, not editing, no voice or face. So I'm not sure. I'm kind of drawing a blank there. I like that you tried something new. Maybe it didn't work. CTR doubling is good. I mean, all you can take from that is your click-through rate doubled. So that must mean you have a better title and thumbnail combo. Click-through rate has nothing to do with what's in your video. It's everything to do with your thumbnail. So you made a cool thumbnail, that worked. So that's the lesson learned there. That style of thumbnail, that new style of thumbnail works better, right? That's exactly what you should do. Try new things. You tried a new thumbnail, the CTR improved, so that's great. In terms of the views tanking, the thumbnail has to match what's in the video. So if you made a cool thumbnail, but it looks completely different than what people are getting once the video starts, right? They may think, oh, this is not what I thought I clicked. I don't want to watch this, and they're gone. So the retention will go way down and you're not going to get the views. Okay, so it's a good idea. So you've learned something about the thumbnail, awesome, but now your video has to match your thumbnail. So try to make the first part of your video look like your thumbnail, would be what my suggestion is. Wilfrey just joined. I'd appreciate some new subs. Will I ever make it? If you love doing this and you work hard at it, you will make it. Absolutely. Welcome. Terry, what do you think about the Edits app instead of CapCut? The Edits app? I don't know the Edits app, so I can't comment. Sorry about that. Camtasia is my suggestion. Lego Tours, is it okay to do videos and shorts, 2 shorts a week and 1 long form? Sure, absolutely. Give that a shot and try to measure your results. See what happens. See if it works out for you. Good luck. If I delete projects from CapCut, are they gone, or does CapCut still retain them? I would suspect they may still retain them. I don't know, though. That's a good question. I'm not a CapCut user, so I can't really help. Happy Canada Day. Thank you. It was Canada Day yesterday. From the opposite end of the country, Vancouver, where I was last week. Long-term, is a Google Workspace account better when starting a new channel, or is a personal Google account fine? All right, so personal versus business account for YouTube. If you go personal, you can only have 1 channel, and it's attached to your name. So if you ever want to have more than 1 channel, go business account or brand account, because then you can have multiple channels if you want, and they don't have to be just attached to your email address, right? You can then actually hire managers in the future if you want. So that's probably what I would lean towards, the business or the brand channel. Is there such a thing as too short a video? I did a video that was 2 minutes, 30 seconds today when the inspiration took me. No, I don't think there's too short a video at all. 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I've seen videos less than a minute, wide screen, not shorts, less than a minute, that have millions of views. So yeah, no, Give it a shot. See what happens. Should you record the voiceover first and then build the video on top, or the other way around? If I'm doing a voiceover section in my video, I record the voice first because that kind of sets the time of the video, right? And then I'll build my video on top of that. That's the way I do that. Did you hear in the Philippines starting June 10th, us vloggers need to blur out faces if vlogging in public or get fined $1,000 or more and register your channel? It's a new privacy act. I did not know that, and I don't make videos in the Philippines, so it's good that you're up on that. Yeah, no, never heard about that. I don't believe that's a thing. If you're here in Canada, if you are filming in public, it's a public space, so it's okay. But you do want to be cognizant of children, right? You don't want to put kids online, right, without parental consent, basically. But yeah, no, I hadn't heard that at all. Heartily happy. You mentioned using the Insta360 X4 and your cell phone. So my question is, how do you sync the two to the video? Easy. Use a video editing app. You can record with the Insta360 and your phone and another camera if you want. They're all recording on their own devices. You would then get all those recordings into your computer, into your project file, load them all up onto each on their own track in your editing app, whatever you use. I use Camtasia, and then you sync them on the audio. The Insta360 also records audio. The iPhone records audio, and most phones record audio. Most cameras record audio. So they will all have a copy of the audio. So in most editing programs, you can see the audio waveforms, right, as you're speaking. So you would line them up, right? Sometimes there's a trick you can do that might help that, and that's to give a clap, like do that right in the middle of your video or at the beginning of your video, and then you'll know to look for that clap once everything's recording, and then you can use that to line them all up. So that's how I would do that. What is the easiest way to create short videos from a long form video? Opus Clip will do it automatically. Alan, would it help or hurt to change my titles in past videos that got under 50 views in a month's time? I wouldn't waste my time. Look forward and work on your next video. Don't look back. On my channel, I had 7,999 and I had one to get 8,000. I need one more to get 8,000. Then the next few days, my number went down. Excuse me, one every day. Was YouTube taking subscribers away from me? Every once in a while, YouTube will do audits and they will remove subscribers that they felt were not true subscribers or bots. Like that happens. So that's probably what was happening there. Niche or niche? Let's end this once and for all. I say niche. I'm Canadian. You know, there's English and French here. Niche sounds a little bit more French. Whatever you like. Niche or niche. I vote niche. Channel pivot question. My channel is about personal finance, but I want to niche down to single women who want to be homemakers and need to get their money right, and I can teach them how. I think that's a great idea. That's very similar to what I did. I was talking about video editing, and then I kind of pivoted a bit, still talking to the same people, but a little bit of a pivot. Over 40 and YouTube now. It's kind of the same thing. So I think that's a valid thing to try. Like make a video about it. I wouldn't change anything about what's on your channel now, because that all may still apply to these new people you want to reach, or the targeted group you want to reach, which is probably a small group within the group you're already reaching. So yeah, just say this, like make a video for single women who want to be homemakers and need to get their money right. Whatever title you come up with, that and make a video on that and see what happens. Make several like that. If that's what you want to do, I wouldn't just only make one to see how it goes and give up. I would like maybe do that over 4 or 5 videos and see if you start getting any momentum with that. My biggest issue is feeling I have to rush. They say you have to go quickly to not lose an audience. It doesn't seem to affect you. I feel like I'm going awfully quick today, and I'm already over 50 minutes. Wow, this is not going to work very well, I don't think, but you'll let me know. What are your thoughts on an educational channel? Don't feel you have to rush, I guess, and I should take my own advice there. Slow down. Go quickly to not lose an audience. It's not that you have to go quickly. You have to be delivering value. That's what it comes down to. You can't just be, it can't just be all fluff and no real value. If you're giving value, and if it's an educational channel and you're actually teaching something, then that should be all you need to focus on. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. Do you not use cloud storage, Rob? I do have a Google Drive account, and I use that for transferring files, and I do have some things backed up there. But generally, no, I do my own cloud thing. I learned a great technique, by the way, for how to stop saying filler words in your videos, like, etc. Would that Would that make a good video, do you think, guys? Absolutely. You learned a great technique? Share it. Make a video and share it. 100%, Steve. Go for it. Subscriber count? Okay, in the live, I was trying to reach 70,000. I didn't quite, but I'm past that now. 70,000. Thank you so much to everybody who subscribed. And thank you, Sophia. What happens if you fully exhaust all the possible content you can make on a subject? I don't think you can. Expand the niche, focus on adding shorts, turn to drinking heavily, ask for a friend. Sure you are. Yeah, I don't think you can. If you keep asking questions in your videos, ask your audience or your viewers what they want from you. They will answer you in the comments. Start doing live streams is one thing you could do. If you're not doing live streams, I would add that to your strategy before shorts. Not that shorts isn't a good idea too, but add live streams. You could get a lot of questions and a lot of video ideas from your viewers that way. So that's what I would do. What a good storage. What do you mean by drives? Can you do a tutorial video on that subject? I will, I promise. Drake or Kendrick? I'd have to ask my daughter. I think I like some of both. Drake is Canadian, I know that. I think I like some of both. Which video editor do you use or recommend? Camtasia, love it. Really good for beginners too. Lindsay Ellen, is there a way we can click on each other in this live to be able to check out their content and subscribe? No, there's a way I can. As the live broadcaster, I can click a username and I can click to go to their channel. But anybody participating in the chat, all you're going to be able to do, maybe open a tab, and I've done this before, open a tab and go to YouTube and type @ and their username, and maybe you'll be able to find them that way. That's what I've tried, and it's worked sometimes it doesn't. Okay, because sometimes the handle is not the same as the channel name, right? But yeah, that's what I suggest there. I've unsubbed over and over again hundreds of times since we started here. That works, right? Huh? No, I don't think it does. How much is the ticket to the doc party tomorrow? Okay, doc party, members only live streams that I do every second or third Wednesday. I had that earlier today. I think it's $5 a month US to become a channel member. So if you join my channel, become a member, then you can participate in the members only live stream. And I think today we had maybe 10 people there. So lots of opportunities to get your questions answered live. What do you use to create YouTube titles? ChatGPT is what I lean on the heaviest for my titles. I come up with an idea myself, and I may do some research on YouTube to see if whatever title I come up with, I'll search for it to see if it's coming up. But I then will typically tell ChatGPT, this is what I'm thinking of as a title. Can you give me 10 more alternatives? And I'll go back and forth and I'll come up with one that way. Is installing VidIQ plugin a no-brainer? I only just installed it, still understanding it, but seems useful. I think it's fantastic. The Chrome extension, I use it. You can see how many subs all your commenters have at a glance. It'll show you a graph of how video channels have grown over time, subs and views. It's phenomenal. I highly recommend it. Do you use VidIQ to create YouTube titles? I do not usually. I have, but usually it's ChatGPT. Packers. Who? Exactly. Never heard of them. I don't know. Does it help or hurt my channel to change my titles on videos, get under 50 views in 30 days? Oh, I've already answered that one. Sorry. Tony, are you from Scotland? My name is Rob, and I'm from Halifax. What about your New Zealand friends? Love my New Zealand friends. What about bubbler versus drinking fountain? That's the biggest debate in Wisconsin, I think. Haha. Yeah. I don't know. I had never heard of bubbler before. If you guys want to laugh, then check out the live stream at about 3 hours and 10 minutes in. From then on, we kind of went off the rails. Thank you, Brooke, for that. Do people search much? Yes, 100%. I search every day. Why do some channels not get approved for monetization? Recently, I heard a channel with 22,000 subs was rejected. They could have gotten their subs underhandedly. Like maybe they bought their subs. That could be one reason that YouTube frowns on. Even if you use YouTube promotion, which is a YouTube thing, if you use that to promote your videos, and as a result of that, you get a whole bunch of subs and views and watch hours, those don't count, okay, towards getting monetized, even though YouTube has sold it to you. That should only be used if you have an event you want to promote or a product you're launching that you want to, and you make a video specifically for it to advertise that thing, then maybe I'd promote a video like that. But do not promote just a random video just because you want it to get more views and you want to get more subs. That won't work. In fact, it'll probably hurt your long-term channel growth. And the watch hours you get from that won't count anyways. So that could be a reason, Catherine. Barb, did you say you're going to do a video on file organization? Yes, I did. And that's going to be my next or second next video. Promise. Steve, Americans have really sensible words like sidewalk. Do you walk at the side of the road? You walk at the side of the road, we call it pavement. What's that about? In Canada, we call it a sidewalk too. Dirt Princess, and in the South, pop and soda. Okay, this is kind of where we went off the rails, but these questions are here. Let's keep going. Pop and soda are all Coke. You want a Coke? Yeah, what kind of Coke you want? Sprite, Dr. Pepper, or Pepsi? I think Pepsi wouldn't like that very much. How fun is technology? It is a blast. Any advice for a gaming channel? I'm watching from Nigeria. I'm not a special... I don't run a gaming channel. I feel like they are harder to grow. You've got to be entertaining, I think. That would be my advice. Be as entertaining as you can, and don't just not say anything. Like, look at the camera and say stuff. Like, try to ask questions and stuff would be my advice. Can you ship maple syrup here? In the Philippines? I don't think so. The freight would be expensive, I think. On my lives, on half of the people comment. How do I know? I get 7 to 8 people and 3 to 4 are commenting. I think that's great. If you can get 3 or 4 people commenting of the 7 to 8 people who are watching, I think that's a great ratio. Not everybody who watches is actually watching. They may just be listening and unable to comment. So keep that in mind too. But that's great that you're getting comments. Awesome. Slap happy isn't a thing everywhere. Yeah, no, I hadn't heard of that one either. Could you bring Colby on as a guest to discuss the CapCut terms? That's a good idea. Maybe I will. I'll reach out to him. 6 more subscribers until I reach 50. Then I can start going live, right? Wrong. You can go live now. You only need 50 subs to go live if you want to go live from your mobile phone, okay? You can go live at any time before you hit 50 subscribers with 5 subscribers if you do it from your computer, all right? And do you eat supper or dinner? We have supper here in Nova Scotia. Is Peanut still sleeping under the desk? She was yesterday at the time you asked that, but right now she's right over here on my desk sleeping, right? Can you save the chat and do a follow-up video answering the questions? Done. Just did that. I hope you guys found this helpful. It's an experiment. We'll see if it works or not. Thanks for watching. If you guys like this and this does well, I might start doing this more often. But that's it for now. It's been long enough. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Okay, stop.